Hi everybody, I'm so excited. This is Jeannie from Crochet Comfort, and I've never done a video before, or vlog, or whatever they call this stuff. And I've been wanting to, but I just haven't been brave enough. And one of my husband's friends came over and showed me some things. I hope you can see this. Good. I've been crocheting for more than 50 years, and I learned to knit first, and I love to knit, but as you get older, I cannot knit very much anymore. And I mostly sew, but the past 2 years I've been on a crochet, I don't know, mania or something. And it's given me a lot of comfort to do this, and I needed it. But anyway, this is a granny jacket that I've been planning for about a year. I found a book at the thrift store with an older book with granny things in it, and I just fell in love with this sweater, and the colors are not coming out true. It's not orange. I wish I had used orange. It's a deep red, almost too dark. This looks better, what I'm seeing here. But anyway, and the book called for a sport weight yarn, 13.5 ounces. I have no idea how many yards that is. Here in the States, you can get sport yarn, but it's expensive and limited colors, at least what I can afford. And so I used Lion Brand Heartland. I used it on a shawl once before and liked it. That beautiful mustard gold, which doesn't show up real good here. It's the piece in the squares, but also going down the center front. Anyway, I'll never use it again because it was fat and thin and fat and thin. And I had to go to a smaller needle, which made this jacket pretty dense and heavy. And where I live in the Central Valley of California, it's warm quite a bit of the time, and I don't wear a coat. I like sweaters. So this is like a jacket. It's a little heavy, but I like it, and it fits good. And speaking of the fitting, you can see where I added on at the sides for bust and came in a little for waist and went out for hips because that's what I need to do for myself. We're all different, and everybody has different ways of fitting, but because I've sewn so much in the past, I feel it just looks better if you do your adding on the sides, under the arm, and things like that, using a smaller needle when you need it to come in, and a bigger needle, and just adding on where people don't really see it. And it just fits better, and it keeps the front part of the garment straighter. But I want to put toggle buttons on this, but they're so expensive. So I bought some inexpensive buttons I might put on it from the Asian market. Or I might try making some with that clay that Michaels has. I waited a long time for this yarn to be on sale. And it's really too bad because it's pretty, but it just was difficult for me to use. I had to go down to a H needle, which it was rough. And then I kept having to take the balls back because it was so ridiculously thin. In some areas, I would trade it out. She'd let me trade it out for one that was a little better till I got to the last ball. And as some of you may know, we were under flood alert here in the valley, Central Valley, and we still are under alert. We're just not been given the directions to evacuate, and we have our stuff all by the door, whatever. But on the worst day, I needed another ball of this black stuff, so I jumped in the car and went over the river. It was horrible, so deep, and went to a different Michaels and found the last ball on the planet, and it worked. It blended really well because I wanted to finish this project. And I want to show you this book with granny squares. It's an older book, but you know, with a little twist here and there, things can be updated, and it seems like lots are doing granny squares these days. I should have done like Jan and used a multicolored gradient yarn, but you know, it's not hard to put different colors in, but this yarn just keeps crawling out. Where I've woven it in, it just wants to crawl out. So I may use a little bit of fabric glue here and there on the inside. And I won't, if I ever do granny squares again, I won't do it like that. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's very easy to do. You see there's 4 on each side in the front, and there's 8 across the back, and then you see 1 granny square on each shoulder. And then I just hooked on and took off. There's directions, but I just hooked on at the bottom and took off in the sides and put it where I needed it and made it to fit me better. And a lot of us do that stuff. You know, that's how I could never write it down. I keep changing my mind on things. But this yarn is a very pretty colors, but just not happy with it. Trying to think of what I wanted to say is that I've really enjoyed watching you. Jan in England has been my go-to, and we're close to the same age and size, I think. And so we come from the same generation and have that in common, and I agree with her on a lot of things about the new patterns, and it's wonderful they're coming out with new patterns. I love that, but the way things are explained sometimes are mind-boggling. And Doris Chan, I just love her. You know, you learn a lot from her about making things fit properly. I really enjoy that, and it's a challenge to figure the directions out sometimes, though. But I will try to make another video and show you some of my things. I call them my Jan and Sue knockoffs because I copy. Jan gets a book that's got something and I like, I've got to order it. She makes something I like, I've got to make it. So I belong to the Jan and Sue fan club. And I've copied Sue on some things too. But, oh gosh, I don't know what else I wanted to say. But fitting issues, I've already covered that. So what I'm going to do is try to pause this thing, and I'm going to show you some of my stash busting I did and had fun with. So I'll be back, I hope. Okay, I'm back, I hope. I had some Vanna taupe mist yarn left over from a sweater I made, one of my daughters. And I mixed it with some baby Aran, and it made this granny shawl. You can't see it very good. Then I ran out, and then I mixed it with some gray and so on, and my daughter said, "Oh, Mom, you did good with that gradient," and I didn't even notice it. I was hoping it wouldn't show. And then I had some left over, and then I thought, I'm going to keep going with this, and I bought a couple balls on sale, and I made this little girl's poncho, a little hat to match, a scarf for her mother, and I still had some left over. So, let me try again, show you what this. I do not make toys. I make a few. They're not very good, but let me show you. Hold on. Okay, so then I made these little, I thought, what does this stuff look like this? And I went and got some red, and I thought, this looks like sock monkey. So I made a tea cozy. I don't know if you can see it very good, for my daughter, for her teapot. And what she's not happy with, she wanted me to make her one with flowers and things like that, but I'm not good at that, and I was having fun. And then I made a puppet for the little girl I'm giving the poncho to. And then it was too big for her little hand, I thought. So I made her a smaller one and put hair on it. And my husband wants, I do have little pieces of red here and there in my kitchen. So I thought, oh, I'm going to cover something in the kitchen with the other one, or just keep it for when children come to play, whatever. But I have the book down there. You can see it clipped open, but I just can't film that, so I'm going to wait for my friend when he comes. Gee, I hope that this is the same, on the same video, but he'll know, when Lee comes, he'll know how to fix this for me, I hope. But it's just been so much fun. I've enjoyed you all so much, and there's so much talent. I can't believe how you ladies, and men too, have learned how to film and do such a beautiful job and send out there for us to enjoy. So if you haven't been thanked, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, here's the picture in the book. I should have showed the outside cover of the book. I'm new at this. Let me see if I can do it without tearing everything up. And there's Granny. Oops. Granny Crochet Favorites by Jean Leinhauser and Rita Weiss. Really some nice things. An older book. But the first one I want to show you is, I didn't have a glare. Let's see if I don't. That's the sweater, the jacket that I made. And that's the one that calls for sport weight yarn. And I didn't have any, so I used the heavier yarn. And there's Sock Monkey next to it. And then this one, oh, it's so cute. This little girl. Look at how they took. Can you see that here? And they did the squares at the bottom and then crocheted the top, sort of opposite of what the adult sweater was. Really some nice things in here. And some of them not so nice. But this one I love. This little girl, that smile on her face, she's so cute. She reminds me of my middle daughter a little bit. But isn't that cute? And you know, you could bust some scraps with this and make something for some little kid. And they would love it. Little girl. And then this little baby down here. I'll try to pick the book up. I just don't have this set. Oh, getting glare, getting glare. Trying not to get glare. Isn't that darling? The hat, the sweater, the blanket. And of course there's the little purses like Jan makes. I don't know if you noticed the roses here. Three-dimensional. My girlfriend, oh gosh, 40 years ago made an all-white bedspread like that for her mother. I think she's got it now and uses it every day, and it's really pretty. Now, some of this stuff, you know, you might want to make, you might not want to make, but there's one more thing. There's a picture of a dog I'd love to show you. He's got the look on his face, but right here, not those, I think those look not so great, but this jumper, this lady's jumper. Let me see if I can tip. Oh, I bet this is going to be a mess. Isn't that cute? Talk about if you were small and stash busting and how warm that would be with a turtleneck or something. I think they're calling it an apron, but I would make it into a jumper. And the black and white up there, that's what I was going to do for my sweater originally. And I even made up little samples, but I couldn't find the colors of gray and black and white that I liked. And my hair just would clash with that gray. So anyway, this is the book, and it's really a nice book with nice photographs, but hard to show. Let me see, one last thing, if I can get this dog. If you could just see this dog's face. His eyes, I don't know if he's ready to bite, but I think he does not want to wear that granny jacket. So cute. Okay, well that's it for today, and I'm hoping I can do this again sometime. If it comes out okay, and if you all get it okay, and ta-ta.